The latter half of the 19th century saw not only the beginning of the acquisition of our mass media by the Jews, but also the nearly simultaneous hatching of two long-term murderous conspiracies designed to exploit our weaknesses and turn them against us. Those two conspiracies were Zionism and Marxism, communism. Some Jews went with one, some with the other, but both were deadly for us. The Marxists issued their Communist Manifesto as far back as the middle of the 19th century, but it was another 50 years before they were able to have much of an impact on the Gentile world. As for the Zionists, they also began propagandizing and organizing at about the middle of the 19th century, and only became noticeable at the beginning of the 20th century when they began having international Zionist congresses and more or less openly laying their plans to foment wars and revolutions of which they could take advantage to promote Jewish interests. For example, at the Zionist Congress in 1897 in Basel, Switzerland, the Zionist leader Theodor Herzl told his fellow Jews that they were having trouble persuading the Turks, who at that time controlled Palestine, to turn the country over to them, but that the Jewish leaders had plans for getting around the Turks. Herzl said, and I quote, "It may be that Turkey will refuse us or will be unable to understand us. This will not discourage us. We will seek other means to accomplish our end. The Orient question is now a question of the day. Sooner or later, it will bring about a conflict among the nations. The great European war must come. With my watch in hand, do I await this terrible moment. After the great European war is ended, the peace conference will assemble. We must be ready for that time." End quote. Remember, Herzl was talking about the Jews' plans 17 years before the outbreak of the First World War. But the Jews were ready when the time came. In 1916, with the war more or less stalemated, they approached Britain's political leaders and made a deal to bring the United States into the war on the side of Britain in return for a British promise to take Palestine away from Turkey and turn it over to the Jews after the war. The British side of the deal was made public in the so-called Balfour Declaration, and the Zionists kept their end of the bargain by working through Jews close to the Democratic President of the United States, Woodrow Wilson. Wilson had won the election to his second term in the White House in 1916 by promising America's voters that he would keep the United States out of the European war. But as soon as he took office in 1917, he began scheming to get the country into the war on the side of Britain, which of course he did 2 months later. That cost a couple of million additional Gentile lives, but it got Palestine for the Jews. And it also prolonged the war enough for the Jews in Russia to topple the Tsar and get their communist revolution off the ground.